When you start with your favorite section of the city, downtown and Old Town Fort Collins, you've got to end it with your second favorite part. Now, I may have talked about Midtown being one of my favorites, and it absolutely is. There's lots of cool things about Midtown. But now, having lived on the south side of Fort Collins for the last 10 years plus, I am now a Southie. I love South Fort Collins, and today, in our final part, part 6 of 6 sections of Fort Collins, we are going to talk about South Fort Collins. What's up, everybody? My name is Patrick Soukup with Soukup Real Estate Services here, living in Fort Collins. Now, Fort Collins could easily be split up into quadrants: College Avenue, Prospect, Northeast, Northwest, Southwest, Southeast. But for the purposes of understanding Fort Collins better, I broke it down into 6 sections. Really different dynamics of what people are looking for, kind of the housing prices, price per square foot, the age, the vibe, what people are moving there for, why people aren't moving there, and kind of understood that Fort Collins could really be broken down into 6 sections, possibly 7 if you look more east Fort Collins. Now, if you want to use Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, it's still very easy to do that, and there are still definitely dynamics that break that down pretty easily. But for our purposes, we broke it down into 6 sections, and today, South Fort Collins, which really could be described as the newest part of Fort Collins. Now, not necessarily newest as far as ages go, because actually, when we looked at the data, North Fort Collins was the newest. But we have a significant amount of homes that sell in South Fort Collins. A lot of those are in the mid-90s, but a lot of our commercial developments, specifically along the Harmony corridor, are being developed. And we are looking at growing further and further south and further east, as well as southwest as well. But South Fort Collins is definitely something to where if you are commuting to DIA, you are going to love living there because it is a quick, easy commute to DIA, about 15 to 20 minutes saved on your time if you're anywhere north or west in Fort Collins. Now, another main characteristic is our Poudre School District. When people move to Fort Collins, they really want to be in the Poudre School District. I would say about a 10% premium if you live north of this Trilby line. Now, yes, there's been some individuals who have really shined light on me to help me understand what the boundaries are a little bit better. Because as you go east, the boundary actually gets further and further south, almost all the way up to the Fort Collins Loveland Airport. So for our purposes, I did include some pictures for you to show you the exact boundaries on the south side of Fort Collins, because it is a huge characteristic of Fort Collins of whether you are in the Poudre School District or the Thompson Valley Loveland School District. So 3 pros of living in South Fort Collins. Again, this is going to be your quickest, easiest access to I-25. So if you are having to commute, take flights, go down to DIA, this is definitely a huge draw to South Fort Collins, as well as the Harmony corridor and Front Range Village. There's lots of shopping, restaurants, eating, retail, grocery opportunities along this Harmony corridor. Very quick, easy access. I've really enjoyed being here. I've not found it difficult to do pretty much anything that I want to do on the south side of town. This is probably also one of the most family-friendly, really family-driven suburbia type areas. Tons of parks, Twin Silos Park, Fossil Creek Park. You've got other parks that are being built that are really close to the south side of Fort Collins, and I absolutely love it on the south side. Now, jumping into the 3 cons, well, shoot, I have to commute every day to downtown Fort Collins. And for me, that takes me, 15 minutes in the morning when there's no traffic, but on a Friday afternoon coming home through the traffic, probably about 20 to 30 minutes depending, 25 minutes very easily, which growing up in Fort Collins, having no traffic ever is definitely a big bummer. And if you're heading east over I-25 to Timnath, where a lot of the development and growth and people are moving to, you should see Harmony backed up on a Friday afternoon, or just really any afternoon as folks get off of work, heading east on Harmony while you're heading home, and heading west on Harmony as you're coming into work. It's a sight to see, and there are 3 lanes going both ways, and it can easily be backed up a mile. Now, the final con of living on the south side of Fort Collins, especially if your culture and vibe of moving to Fort Collins is the lifestyle. You want more clean living, maybe ride your bike more, stay outdoors, less driving, all that kind of stuff. Well, I can definitely say if you're living on the south side of Fort Collins, there is little to no walkability pretty much for anything, unless you're just walking out to go to the park or walking on the sidewalks. You are going to get in your vehicle and drive to go do that, whether that's grocery, restaurants, retail, entertainment, night out. You will drive, park, and then walk to there, and then drive to your next location. There is little to no walkability on the south side of town, unlike there is in Midtown and definitely downtown. On the south side of town, you have some amazing schools. Fossil Ridge, the best ranked school in Fort Collins. Fort Collins High School. And if you're on the west side of town, you can still probably go to Rocky Mountain. Clarendon Hills is a neighborhood very highly desired. That one of the things that people really like about that neighborhood is that their kids are going to be going to Rocky Mountain High School. Now, middle schools, Preston, Kennard, elementaries, Bacon, Werner, McGraw. There are lots of different options on the south side of town. It is a very strong school system on the south side. Lots of students it is probably a more affluent part of town, and therefore a lot of those kids will be pushed and pressed to go to college, which then they will be pushed and pressed to get good schools or good scores, which then benefit those schools for better scores and rankings. So you will get yourself probably into some of the best schools in Fort Collins, public schools on the south side of town. Now, this is going to be your most expensive section of Fort Collins, coming in with a median price point of $610,000. Now, your value is phenomenal per square foot because you are going to be buying a house that's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, about 3,100 to 3,200 square feet for $208 per square foot, built in the late 90s. So yes, you are going to be buying the most expensive house as a median price in Fort Collins, but you will be getting more house for that. So that being said, South Fort Collins is definitely an area that's growing, close to Loveland, I-25, close to Timnath, lots of business districts are on the south side of town. But if you're wanting to be in walking, biking area, downtown is a ways away, and south side of town, you are going to spend the majority of your time on the south side of town. I don't go downtown very often on Saturday or Sunday. I work downtown Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 type deal, and on the back side of it, Saturday, Sunday come, you will see me spending the majority of my time on the south side of town. I'm a Southie. I love it. I don't complain about it. We don't actually go down to Denver nearly as often as we should, but it would really only be about a 50 to 60 minute drive comparatively to a 60 to 75 minute drive if you're on the northwest side of town, along the foothills, or north side of town. So there are pros and cons of different areas and sections of Fort Collins. I have my personal favorites. I've been told a time or two that, hey, I actually really love West Fort Collins because, well, hey, I like walking out my back door and within 10 to 15 minutes, I am at the reservoir. Or shoot, my kid went to high school or middle school in North Fort Collins, went to Lincoln or CLP and Poudre, and now is making 6 figures and doing great. I've had teachers that worked in North Fort Collins. And then campus, well, maybe you just really, really love the Rams and you want to be around those crazy students that are throwing parties, but all these different sections of Fort Collins have different vibes to them. And South Fort Collins has its own. So if you've enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, comment, engage, maybe even subscribe. And if you're looking at buying, selling here in Northern Colorado, give me a call, text, or email. Until next time, take care.